Be blessed by the divine. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. My humble salutation to our divine Guru Vedatri Maharishi. I extend a warm welcome to the chief guest, Arulnidhi Srimati Vijayalakshmi Bala Madam, spiritual master from Georgia, Sky, USA, Eastern Zone, who's here for a special address on the most needed topic, consciousness and liberation. The ultimate goal of a karma yogi is to realize self and in its depth to realize that consciousness itself is the truth. When he lives according to that understanding, he'll enjoy a peaceful and blissful life. Consciousness is God, the absolute within every individual, keeps track of all the actions and hands out rewards in accordance with the quality of the deeds. Today's highlight is on the topic consciousness and liberation. It is indeed a great pleasure in introducing Arulnidhi Vijayalakshmi Bala ma'am, one of the ardent disciple of Swamiji Vedatri Maharishi and a software engineer and a caring mother of her children. Madam has more than quarter century of experience with WCSC and Vedatrium, with the passion for bringing peace in self, family, and society. She has taken the task to coach and guide the spiritual seekers towards truth and wisdom through a systematic practice of sky. Also, she's working as a software engineer consultant for Agricultural Farm Credit Bank in USA. She always says to her near and dear ones that striving constantly in facing self, family, and society's challenges, leading her life as a Vedatrian makes her feel proud and lucky. As she met Maharishi in her life, it is amazing for her that how far life has directed her towards truth with such an urge of nature. And now, Arulidi Vijayalakshmi Bala Madam is here for sharing her ideas and experience with us. I kindly invite Madam to address this August gathering and highlight and enlighten us on the topic consciousness and liberation. We welcome you, Madam.
வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன் குரு வாழ்க குருவே துணை clarity is seeing the holy body of Guru, clarity is seeing the holy name of Guru, clarity is listening to the holy words of Guru, clarity is contemplating on the holy form of Guru. May we all guided by our Guru Vedatri Maharishi. வாழ்க வளமுடன். All my dear friends, scholars, respected masters, professors. First of all, I would like to thank for giving me this wonderful opportunity of this consciousness 360-degree confluence to speak about consciousness for liberation. And my special thanks to R&D Director, Dr. Rabindranath sir, who made this possible for me. And welcoming all to this wonderful evening and morning time here in USA. It is such a pleasure to see you, everyone here online on this auspicious day, and my prayers with divine and Guru's blessings for all of you to have blessed and peaceful life. Be blessed by the divine. So we are here today to discuss consciousness for liberation. Okay, here's the agenda for this session. First, the consciousness and liberation overview. Some of us already know what is consciousness and liberation. We just go with the overview and different types of liberation in Vedanta and yogic philosophy. And the third topic is need for liberated consciousness. And the next topic is how Vedatrium leads for liberated consciousness. Finally, summarization, interactions, and question answers. So to seek consciousness for liberation, we have some questions in our mind, right? So these are all the questions that we have. So what is consciousness? What is liberation? So will liberation be possible? So what are the chosen methods for liberation, if it is possible for everyone? What are all the right methods? And then what would be the life after we get the liberated consciousness while living? And the last one is the manifestations of liberated consciousness. What would be the result of liberated consciousness? So these are all the questions that we may have, and we are going to see the answers for these questions. So first, what is consciousness? So with this consciousness 360 degrees started. So we are all getting to know in different dimensions of consciousness. With that, we are going to see the consciousness in terms of liberation today. So what is consciousness? Which is inherent quality of absolute, along with inexhaustible source, force, and time. And it is the manifest as the order of function in everything and everywhere. So order of functions of what? Which is pattern, precision, regularity, which is present in everything and everywhere, and directing the force of divine precisely and properly according to the time, and with the psychic functions in the living being of cognition, experience, and discrimination. So these are all the force which is directing with the living being of consciousness. And with that consciousness, as we are the human being, so as the human form, the consciousness constantly improving. So with that improvement, man, the learned persons, identified, which is what is liberation, the resulting of the consciousness, ultimate end for the consciousness, which will lead to liberation in the human being. That is what is great Mahans, Jnanis, Siddhas, we got in this world to get the benefits about this knowledge. And the next topic is, and next question is, what is liberation? So the liberation means, in terms of consciousness, we wanted to see. So the consciousness within the soul, what would be the liberation with the consciousness? The consciousness within the soul will be pure without any impurities. So impurities means ego, imprints, and Maya are illusions. So these are the impurities which will separate us from the God. So when we remove these impurities, we will become pure, and that is the liberation. And also the purpose of this birth will be completed. There will be the no cycle of birth and death once we got this liberation. And the desires will be completed, will be get fulfilled within this lifetime itself. And there will be the realization of origin and destination of the soul, which is what is Almighty, and it is present everywhere and in everything. And always keep that consciousness, which is the divine, present everywhere and everything. They keep this consciousness while living and after death, which is what is liberation, completes the end of birth and death cycle. So now we are clear about what is consciousness and what is liberation. And the next question, and will liberation be possible for everyone? For everyone, right? We think, oh, only great Mahans, great saints. The liberation means it's a higher term that specific people only able to get. Even with the common man, there will be some choosy people like elders. Like in the family, the elders, ultimately, they will be their lifetime at the end of their life. Oh, they are mean to the liberation, mean to the old people or some great Mahas. It's not like that. Whatever the age we are in, how we are grasping the knowledge of consciousness, the liberated consciousness, that much our life will be flourished, will be peaceful, and which will be possible for everyone, regardless of age. And how it is possible? By identification of self with Almighty. So how that identification happens? So that identification happens by improving our consciousness towards the blissful. So all we know, we not only have the physical body, we have astral body and causal body. The causal body, which is subtle body, and that is what is blissful body, and which is connected to the divine, which is present at all the time within us, but without knowing it, all the sufferings. So that connectivity we have to feel. So we have to go beyond. We know the shield. We might hear the new people, we might hear the term koshas, 5 koshas. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vinyanamaya kosha, and jnanamaya kosha. So Annamaya kosha, which will be only with the body consciousness, only with the thinking of food, only with how to satisfy the 5 senses. So with that 5 Annamaya kosha, and we are getting into Pranamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha within us, which is vital energy, which we feel pain, pleasure, or according to the weather, heat, cold, all these are happening in Pranamaya kosha. And then Manomaya kosha, which is nothing but the mind, the thinking ability, right from right, wrong, past, what happened, the experience. So how can we achieve, how can we discriminate all this thinking pattern, which is Manomaya kosha. And the 4th is Vinyanamaya kosha. Here is what the connectivity with the divine happens. So Vinyanamaya kosha. So we are going beyond the mind, which we are connecting with the life, soul, life energy. So which is possible because it is within us, the life energy. Without soul or life, we are not living. So can we not experience that while living itself? So that is what this liberated consciousness will taking us. So we want to experience that life energy, life force within us. So while we are experiencing the life energy, so ultimately, when we are keep on taking effort on towards that path, which will automatically giving the connection with the whole of the universe. And with the universe, we are going beyond with the peaceful and blissful and the divine state, which we will not see any difference between the divine state, which is primordial state, or the universal state, which we see the whole universe. Since we are living on the earth, we definitely think of sun, moon, other planets. Man is constantly searching towards going into other planets. What is there in the universe? This is constant search in the scientific world. So man is constantly thinking all these. So ultimately, by the improvement of consciousness, we are connecting with this whole of this universe because of with our life energy. So the nature provided this precious thing within us. We wanted to experience that. So that is what is our liberation is taking place. So, and we wanted to, this identification is the liberation, and we wanted to maintain that throughout our life. That's what is the man between God and the animal. We are staying here, constantly struggling towards the backward and forward. We are in the middle. So we wanted to have by effort, that effort we need to maintain the perfect connectivity with the absolute. And the fourth question, what are the chosen methods for liberation by Jivatma? So the chosen methods are Sarye, Kirye, Yogam, Jnanam. Sarye means with the body and by worshipping statue. So they are worshipping body, body conscious means worshipping statue, obviously, and they go to temple and they do, tie garland and doing other works in temple. All those things will happen in Sarye path, which is Bhakti Yoga. And Kirye, so Kirye means, so their life, they will completely dedicate to the God, completely dedicate whatever they do, whatever they owing the service to God. God, they keep as a main. Okay. The third one is Yogam. Here the real guru comes in our life. Here is what the realization step is starting from. So the yogam, which we can be able to learn from the real guru, and the guru teaches the methods to purify our body and soul. And we have to practice in our life and will reach ultimately to the liberation, which is what the Jivan Muktas, the state, is happening. And the fourth one is Jnanam, which is only the consciousness of awareness of divine. There will be only the pure consciousness that will come after the death, only the pure consciousness state. There will be no knowledge. So that is what is Jnanam. That Jnanam, if while alive itself, if we keep we will align our life towards that. The ultimate jnana means it will come after that life ends, which is only pure consciousness. That is what is Arivedan in Tamil, Arivedan Devam, that is pure consciousness. That state is called Jnanam. And now the fifth question, what would be the life with liberated consciousness? So with the liberated consciousness, what the life we can experience, which is complete freedom. So are we all not happy having the freedom of to do everything, to do anything? And then contentment. How can we get contentment? All the time, the normal mind wanted to crave something, wanted to achieve something. It's not getting satisfaction. So we wanted to have contentment. Then only we can feel peace and joyful, that blissful. It's not the word joyful and blissful, it's not just the word. We can able to experience, we can able to feel it. So that is what our liberated consciousness is taking place. We want to experience the joyful and peaceful life. And the life will be complete satisfaction with worldly things. And there will be no desire and attachment for his own purpose. But they will have the thought, because still they have the body. So it is a life. The question is, it is a life after the liberated consciousness. It's kind of Jivan Mukta state. What the Jivan Mukta, the characteristics that we are going to go through in next topic. So the life they will have for to do service out of compassion and love towards the human being, for them to realize the divine. And they will have the universal consciousness, and the soul is very much ready anytime they will able to take place towards the ultimate liberation after death, which is Paramukti. That is the state it will be, which is called in Tamil Muzhumai Peru. Okay. And the next, the final question is, what are the manifestations of liberated consciousness? So once the liberated consciousness, which is become the divine, so what would be the manifestations? It will acquire all the qualities of divine, which is plenum, inexhaustible source, boundless and all penetrative, permeable and mighty, divine, vast potential. So that much great qualities that it will gain, that liberated consciousness. Are we not happy with that? How much that potential, how much we are going to become with that liberated consciousness. So that liberated consciousness, which will remain within the, once the man achieved that liberated consciousness, which will remain at the core. And the divine means further it is manifestations. We are seeing here for the manifestations. So the manifestations of the divine, which is the state of universe. But the consciousness, that is the liberated consciousness, which will stay with the core of the divine, which will stay in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So we are going to see what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi also. So that's what is next topic, which is what the liberation explained in Vedanta and yogic philosophy, different types of liberation explained in Vedanta and yogic philosophy. So we have different muktis explained in Vedanta, which are Jivan Mukti, Paramukti, and Videha Mukti, and Mukti, which is ordinary. And first we see what is Jivan Mukti. So we saw with other explanations. And Jivan Mukti, here we wanted to know, which is Atmajnana, Sanskrit word. So these are all the Sanskrit terms, Jivan Mukti, Atmajnana, all those things. So which is self-realization, enlightenment, emancipation, which is complete freedom while living itself. So Jivan Muktas, they only retain their body to disseminate the wisdom to masses. And who doesn't have any desire for his own purpose, and nothing can induce. There will be no indulgence or no ignorance. Nothing can induce the Jivan Mukta. And vasanas, karma, do not become active. The ego does not apply to Jivan Mukta. And also Jivan Muktas are called Brahmajanis because they are the knowers of universal consciousness too. Jivan Mukta, as we saw, once we get into the life energy, the realization, self-realization, automatically it's connect to the source of universe and divine, and which will make us Brahmajnani, and the same Atmajnani become a Brahmajnani also. So that Brahmajnani, once they leave the body, they will get into the Paramukti. They are called Paramuktas. So that's what is next type, which is Paramukta, which is happening after the life ends, after dropping all the acquired characteristics and after destroying all the remaining karmas and becoming one with the divine. And it is bodiless, which is pure form. That is called Paramukta or Paramuktis. Paramukti. Okay, and third one is Videha Mukti. Videha Mukti is a Sanskrit word. Again, the meaning is liberation after death. So in Vedanta, the Mukti is revolved around three things. One is infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, second one, and the third one is infinite power. So Mukti revolves around these three: infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, and infinite power. So soul experience at this stage, because there will be no body, only the bliss. If there is no body, means there is no mind. So there will be no knowledge, and ultimately there will be no power. Body is the only source that we wanted to acquire power, achieve the strength. Body only feels, and mind for knowledge. So these three is absent. So only the infinite bliss at this stage of Videha Mukti. And at this stage, it's completely dissolves into higher consciousness. Okay, and the subtopic of this Videha Mukti, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, is coming under Videha Mukti. So what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Again, it is Sanskrit word. and it's non-duality with absolute. Okay, there is no differentiation with absolute. Nirvikalpa means there will be no differentiation with the absolute. Here, the difference is between the Videha Mukti and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the liberation gain while in the body, but there will be the no identification and their consciousness with the subtle body only. They will not have the concentration of gross body. They will have the concentration of subtle body, which is only pure, only the consciousness, that state. There will be the no remembrance of body at all. So that's the difference. So that it is coming under Videha Mukti, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Okay, and before attaining that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, they should be the Jivan Mukta. So they should have that knowledge to when to exit. Consciously they will exit from the body. And that knowledge they should acquire while having that body itself. At the right time comes, they will exit the body and dissolve in the absolute, and they will become Paramukti. Okay, so while in the body itself, they will completely dissolve their ego. There will be only states of consciousness. So ultimately, there will be no thinking of I at all. So this is what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So if you have any questions or comments that we can go through at the end. The next final one is Mukti in the ordinary form. Okay, here there will be no consciousness of I am the divine or I am the God, I am the absolute. There will be no consciousness of that state. So here the soul experience the infinite knowledge, infinite power and bliss only after the death. And this is only applicable after the death. So there will be the no awareness again to the body at all. So this is what is Mukti, which is coming with ordinary form for some people, that we all have some experience in our life by seeing others. So this is what is different types of muktis that Vedanta is giving us. And now I accidentally pressed different screen. So here we are coming into the point where achieving liberated consciousness in this modern era of technology world is possible. And is this the need? Yes or no? Yes. So without that liberated consciousness, so what are all the life with the liberated consciousness? What will be the life? So in this technology world, definitely it is needed for each and every one. For each and every one, because the sixth sense is constantly improving. with the technology world, ultimately we are improving our sixth sense. So the sixth sense improvement, it is looking for its source and destination. There's the need, unknowingly and unknowingly, everyone is searching for that because they wanted to live a happy life, and they wanted to get real freedom, peace. So how it is possible? And for directing the mind in the right path. So without knowing that, we are seeing how much with the mind, whatever the happenings, whatever the news if we see each and every day. So without knowing the right path, so mind thinks in different ways, different things, different accumulations, which is not knowing of what is right, wrong. Okay, and to realize the human potential. So how much the potential human has, and ultimately with this current world, we are giving more power to machines, and machines can finish many jobs. And human still, it is more power than machine. Even machine can do many people's job within a fraction of second, but still human has more potential. That potential man has to know. Then only he knows that he can conquer, he can achieve his own purpose of birth, he can achieve the success. And to face all the global challenges. So with the global challenge, we are not only becoming unity with media. Today with the media only, we are able to speak between the countries. We are getting unity with the media, and also with the other challenges with the physical world also. And we all went through the pandemic situations, all those things. So we wanted to come out of all these miseries. These are all the global challenges that we face today. We wanted to come out and lead a peaceful, happy, and healthy life. And not to become a slave for illusions. So illusions, nowadays Maya is occurring a lot in each and everyone's life. So how much the gadgets are occupying human being day and night, ruining their peace, ruining their mind, sleep, energy, ruining their energy. So they become a slave in one way to these illusions. So if we don't want to continue that, we can able to realize the end of these illusions, which will not go in the right path. So we wanted to come out of these illusions and to increase the power of man than the machine. So once we know our potential, we can know how to increase our power than machine. We don't want to worry about all the robotics which will destroy human world. We can able to, even the robotics and all able to help. Definitely the technology has to help the human life, and still human has more potential. Definitely he can able to conquer anything and able to come out and able to lead a peaceful and happy life because of ultimate potential within the man is there. Okay, and also to regulate the life from unwanted things. So we acquired lot and lot which is unwanted. in our life. We wanted to remove all those. How? Only by knowing the liberated consciousness. Why we are here? What is our end of life? So for that, whatever the things that we acquired, is there a need? If there is no need, then mind will be boldly take a decision to avoid all those things. So that much power mind able to get, which will not get scared of throwing out unwanted things in our individual life, family, and in the society also. There are a lot of unwanted things if we see. So those are all different topics. And next one is to connect to the meganet from internet. We wanted to connect to the meganet, which is universal consciousness. And from that meganet or magnet, we wanted to connect again the ultimate source. Okay, what is this beyond? Because man is improving the technology. Ultimately, he wanted to have the power, he wanted to know what is everything. He wanted to improve his potential. Ultimate aim is this only. So ultimately, after this universe, constant search will be there, and there will be the connectivity with the totality. So those things are possible only with a liberated consciousness. So is it important for human life currently, for everyone or not? So liberated consciousness is important for each and every one in the society today. Okay, now we see how Vedatriyam, our Vedatri Maharishi, given the systematic approach. So how the Vedatriyam leads for liberated consciousness for a common man. As we saw now, the Vedanta that explains about different types of mukti, and there are different stages. As we saw, Sariye, Kiriye, Yogam, Jnanam, that is also these stages. That is also kind of these stages only. Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sayugya. So these are the stages that Vedanta gives to attain the mukti. So these 4 stages, the Jivan Muktas will be in step by step. The Jivan Mukta will go through everything is step by step process, not within a day, everything will come one day become a Jivan Mukta, not like that. So Buddha got into enlightenment under the tree, not within a second. So keep on meditating, keep on that transformation happened within his consciousness. So that is how the liberation happened. The same thing with these stages. So how it is getting into Jivan Mukta. So that's what we are going to see in this slide. The first is Salokya. Salokya means which is nearby earth-bound field. So as Sariye means, as we saw, which is with the body. The body belongs to the earth. So with the body we do good things. We do the surrender to the divine. So that is with the nearby earth-bound field. So this is a stage for Jivan Muktas. Okay. And second is Samipyam. So which is nearby the ruler. Ruler means which is nearby God. As we saw, the Kriya means dedicated their life to God. And the third one is Sarupyam. So it is being one with the universe, which wanted to experience the power of the divine. Only the power of the divine, the Shakti, the totality, which get into manifestations. with full potential as the universe. So that one, the man wants to experience that potentiality within him. So that is what the stage of Sarupyam. And the fourth one is being one with the absolute, which is only the pure state of consciousness, which is the 4 stages the Jivan Mukta go through step by step. So here our Vedatriyam gives the same way of attaining these stages by simplified Kundalini Yoga meditation. The simplified Kundalini Yoga meditation teaches the different types of meditation techniques, and that is one of his Duriyam, and the further final stage is Duryaditam. So that meditation practices will get stages into Salokyam, which we are getting into Dwadasangam, right? Duriyam at the peak of our head, Sahasrara, and Samipyam, which is sun's field. We are going to the sun's field. And the third one is Sarupyam, which is universal field or Vishwarubam. Okay. Finally, we are meditating with absolute. We are becoming the Sayugyam state. And with that meditating habit, now thinking the divine state predominantly, we will think constantly the divine state than the other habit. So finally, we are able to get into absolute while the body leaves. So our habit pattern, our pattern will get changed. Thinking pattern will change by meditating at Duriyam, which is Sayugyam. So automatically it will come at the end of our life, because it is blissful compared to other things what we think. Constantly, if we know this truth, this knowledge, ultimately our mind automatically will go towards that. So constantly we will give the importance towards that. So obviously at the end of our life, it will come automatically. So our process is very easier. Agrishi given us in the simplified form for us to achieve the great human goal, which is liberation. So, and also he is giving for the consciousness improvement by individual, by systematic approach for the individual with the different introspection techniques. So how the consciousness is improving through the introspection techniques. So we are able to know the purpose of our sixth sense. So the purpose of our sixth sense is to reach its own origin. It's to reach its own potential. That will be clear in our introspection techniques. And by conquering 6 temperaments to get into peaceful mind and life. So with the 6 temperaments of greed, anger, miserliness, immoral, sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance, we are able to conquer by contentment, patience, clarity, chastity, humility, and forgiveness. So these are all become the normal qualities with the systematic approach, how we can be able to transform these 6 temperaments into the characteristics which we can be able to align our consciousness towards the divine. So that is the improvement that we are making with our introspection techniques and knowing the cause and effect. Ultimately, if you are connecting to the divine, meditating with all the potentials, the cause and effect knowing is very easy. The perspicacity, the knowledge will come automatically. What will happen if we do this, that? So which they can able to remove all unwanted thoughts and actions by knowing cause and effect. And by practicing and living a virtuous way of life, which is high moral standard of life. Okay. So this is how the individual able to get the knowledge of Vedatriyam by improving the consciousness. And also the two things which are important, taking care of physical, mental, spiritual well-being. So physical, mental, spiritual well-being, without that, how can we achieve liberation? So if we have disease in our body, can we able to achieve liberation? There will be no thinking of liberation. Even with only the hungry comes, not even we don't want to go that state of disease. Even with the hungry, can we able to think of liberation? So we have to take care of our body. It's not a selfish. So Jivan Muktas retain their body only to disseminate the ultimate knowledge to masses. That is what we are keeping our mental, spiritual, and physical well-being. And constant awareness, that is we needed. We should not forget this. Even we got all these introspection techniques and learning all these, but we should stay in that state. We should be in the consciousness of Brahmajanis. As we know, after the introspection techniques that we learn, the Brahmajanam. So once the Brahmajani knows the knowledge, he is getting the ability of seeing the divine in everything and everywhere. That state we should have constantly, the state of awareness, we should keep it constantly. And the truth will not slip away in any second from us. That we have to practice it. So the yoga jnanam, next state of Sarya and Kriya that we saw. And the next step is yogam and jnanam, which is coming in Vedatriyam in the step by step. Okay. And finally, we are having the thinking ability. Once the individual get all the fulfillment, obviously the thinking ability, the Vedatriyam, is giving the thought process of thinking of society. So towards the society, okay, how we can able to achieve this consciousness. So only with the individual, it is not completely possible. How? We are the body belongs to society only. From day to day life, we are using all the things from morning till evening. So we want to give it back to the society. So for that, karma yoga is very much important. Karma yoga means do good to others. Okay, then only the material fulfillment will happen. Not every single person can able to do by their own work. So we want to get material fulfillment. So how much material that we are using from morning till night, which are only talking about essentials. So without material, man is nothing. So we want to have that material, but in what way we want, how we want. That's what the difference in consciousness is. Okay. and by maintaining the individual peace, which will lead to world peace. Vedatriyam, the way the education is getting into world peace. So ultimately, if we maintain the individual peace, so how we can able to give the peace to our surroundings, to our atmosphere. So that's what we wanted. So even if we wanted to have all the liberated consciousness, I want to become a higher consciousness, nothing will be possible if you have negative environment. Our atmosphere is not good. You cannot achieve anything. So that world peace is the surrounding society peace is very much important. That has to start from the individual peace. Maharishi given in the higher consciousness way. It has to start from the individual peace. How that vibration of great Mahan, the Jivan Muktas, can able to transform many lives around him. That is what the world peace will comes. And by next one is by observing silence. This we can ask why it is silence in the society. Yes. So nowadays, again, the technology world constantly towards material, constantly towards mind is constantly blogging. We want to observe the peace, observe the silence, where there is the opportunity for that in our day-to-day life. So constantly our mind is going towards the gadget. So we are searching peace, but we are thinking this is not needed if I'm going towards that channel, this channel. So then only we'll get happiness. That's what mind is going towards that. So society has to give the importance to observe the silence. So it has to come in the education system itself. Okay, then the children mainly, they definitely needed the focus towards the silence to observe the nature. So that concept is completely gone now. So that one definitely we wanted in the society, and that will Vedatriyam teach us how we are maintaining the silence, how we are practicing the silence. That Vedatriyam knows, whoever already took the courses. And by developing a choiceless awareness in daily life, the constant awareness in each and everything. So where are we now? The constant awareness, without awareness doing this, that, without thinking ability, particularly the young generation. So constantly they don't know where they are going for. But the awareness, the teaching of awareness is very much needed. And not only with the kids, even with the adult. So there should be a choiceless awareness in our day-to-day life. And that Vedatriyam teaches by constant awareness of staying in our true state. And finally, the cultural development and knowing the science of living. So we have the solution for everything in Vedatriyam to get into the liberated consciousness for the individual and for the society and for the whole world. Okay. So we are all lucky to have Vedatri Maharishi in our life, and whoever the seeker wanted to know and get into liberation, Guru comes in their life automatically and taking from yoga to jnana and to complete liberation. Okay, finally the summarization. So now we know liberation is possible for everyone. And the necessary things to achieve the complete liberation are, so we wanted to get full satisfaction with material world by doing karma yoga, by getting the contentment of individual feelings, and whatever is the true need that we have to satisfy. In this way, we can able to get full satisfaction with the material world. And the second one is dissipation of imprints of sins. So we know the method in Vedatriyam to remove the sin imprints by superimposition, dissipation, and dissolution, which will get into consciousness state. Ultimately, it will improve all the imprints. We don't want to worry about past karma. So that's what Jivan Mukta, the vasanas do not come into act when we are constantly going towards the divine and meditating state of divine. If we have, the vasanas will not come into act. And the third one is realization of consciousness, truth. So that one, definitely we need to live a happy life. And realization, we wanted to live a happy life, not only after life. Within the life, we wanted to have that realization. Then only we can lead the happy life. Okay. And these are the necessary things to achieve liberation while we are living. And how it is possible? The individuals with simplified Kundalini yoga practices, which is physical exercise and constant practice of meditative state that we are practicing every day, the meditations that will lead into a meditative state constantly in our day-to-day life. And with Kayakalpa yoga for getting abundant energy, and by introspecting for conflictless mind and get peace. Okay, so that we can able to attain the goal of our life, which is liberation. And systematic approach, because everything is, the consciousness will work under pattern, precision, regularity. Pattern, precision, regularity, in the sense there will be need of systematic approach. So we should have the pattern to do every day practices, methods to purify our body and mind. So that pattern, precision, regularity. So all these qualities of consciousness. So that systematic approach, definitely the humankind needed to achieve liberated consciousness and able to enjoy here the functions of cognition, which is the characteristics of consciousness, which is cognition, experience, and discrimination. So with that consciousness, we are improving ourselves to the ultimate peace of joy and happiness. So here the Vedatriyam teaches with this consciousness only how consciously Maharishi made this system to achieve liberation, to achieve consciousness that we can see. And we can able to live life happily and while living, and also attain the eternity after our death. That's what is the purpose of our life. So the fulfillment can be achieved through Vedatriyam. வாழ்க வளமுடன். With this, I'll conclude. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity to me. And again, I would thank my sincere thanks to my beloved Professor R&D Director, Dr. Ravindranath sir, and who directed and guided me with these concepts and ideas here in the PowerPoint you guys see. And he's such an inspiration for all Vedatrians. And I bow to his superior knowledge. வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine.